What's up, waifu lovers? It's your boy, the Gotcha Mogul, here again with another banger video for you guys. So, today's video is going to be a Magical Girl Erika banner review and, of course, unit release review. And I think I'll just start off with the unit, going straight into the newest 5-star that's been added, and that is Nina. So you guys may have already noticed I didn't have a lot of crystals before. I only had 6,000 and change. I don't know the exact number. I was actually able to get her on my second 10 pull. I did not plan on whaling for her at all though. And the reason for that is she is not a must pull unit. You do not need Nina whatsoever. She is a PvP unit. If you are free to play or even a dolphin, I suggest you skip her. But if you plan to be a serious PvP player, she will fit into the meta later on, but like later on, because she is a great single target nuker. She S2s into her S3. So her S2, Nina gathers lightning at her magic staff, resetting the cooldown of Final Dawn, gaining a bonus turn and granting attack boost for 2 turns. So you S2, use S3, right? You basically just nuke a target, and then you reduce the cooldown of your S2 again, and you just keep cycling, which is insane, right? So her DPS output in PvP is going to be great. It's just going to be a thing where you'll have to wait for the meta to get away from this cleave meta with Timmy, Rory, and Alice, because right now the blue units are just going on a rampage in PvP, and there's nothing you can do about it until everyone's gears start to get significantly better, and it's going to be harder to cleave, and then specific units have to come out as well, right? The most important unit that I could think of that makes more of an anti-cleave meta is Ryza, which I think always make sure that you have crystals for Ryza, because she's going to be a huge anti-cleave meta and will give a lot of free-to-play players and even dolphins a lot of mobility when it comes to their team structures, because they no longer have to worry about cleave as much, because Ryza has an anti-cleave AoE attack where the more turns the enemy units take, the more likely she's going to take her turn with a huge AoE debuff counterattack, and then S3 to team down. Now, the second unit for this collab that you need to look at is Erika. So Erika is also a PvP unit. Down the road, she will definitely have some play because this AoE debuff is nuts. AoE silence that also does damage is absurd. So what she does is basically she prevents units from using their S3s and S2s if it's an active ability, not a passive. But that's important to note, right? Which means Ryza in the future is going to be even better, because units like this wouldn't really be able to affect Ryza, because Ryza's counter attack is a passive ability, and that's very important to note. So Ryza also counters this unit, which is actually a fairly strong PvP unit, and only good for PvP because, of course, her passive ability, 80% resistance against action bar reduction effects upon taking a hit, grant action bar to one random ally. And of course, the issue here is the random ally. You can't have RNG in your PvP, in your PvE auto runs, so she won't be as useful in PvE at all. But still, you never know when the meta is going to shift, and you don't want to not have a meta unit that has been free to you before in the past. So I suggest that you still farm and you still get her, but do not whale or even roll for Nina. She is not worth the she's just not worth it at this point of the game. And then after the banner goes away, of course, she will just end up going into the regular recruitment coin shop. So now for the banner itself. One thing I have to give one thing I have to give Artery Gear. They are really good with their collabs. Like, this is a premium collab banner. I have not seen any other game go to the lengths that this game does with their collab. Like, look at this, a little cell phone to pretend that you've been in school. They have the little news reports on the left here. This gives you a premium. Honestly, Artery Gear literally has the ability to be the best turn-based strategy, like, gacha game to like ever exist up until this point. The issue is all of the issues that I pointed above in my video before, but I do want to say that I think it is always intentional when games release their games in a state where it needs a lot of improvement. It's like a C student, right? When you come into school as a C student and everyone knows that you're a C student, and all of a sudden you start getting C pluses, you start getting Bs, everyone applauds like, "Oh my gosh, improvement. We love to see improvement." But when you come into school as an A student, the first time you get that B, everyone's like, "Okay, why are you slacking?" Society is weird like that. So you actually benefit as a company to not release a game that's perfect, because you create this artificial care, right? Like, you know what improvements need to be done in a game. It's probably just sitting in some USB somewhere in the office, and they know they can fix these things, but they're waiting for just enough downloads and just enough money to be put into the game before they add these additional quality of life improvements to improve the game. And then we can all come back and say, "Oh my gosh, they listen to us," right? Like, they put all of these fixes in because they hear us and they understand our pains as a gotcha player. But that's not the case at all. They just know that it's easier to start off as a faulty business and improve than it is to start off as a perfect one. Now, let's look at what you need to focus on in the redeem shop. Get Erika, of course, get her dupes, get the foraging crystals. The gear upgrade materials takes priority over everything. You guys know how scarce these mats are. This is the most important thing you need to get. If you're really scraped on stamina, free to play players, this is the most important thing. I don't care if the banner goes away, you need to make sure you get this. It's more important than farming your hunts, because this is what's going to improve your progression in the game. And then I would say, get your L4s, because you need to get your 6 stars, of course. Now, this crit set is a complete scam. You can use the same exact team. If you are able to do Centaur, you can use the same exact team to do Harpist. Harpist is one of the easiest bosses in the game. Don't waste your event currency buying this 5-star gear, because it is just not worth it. Even though the substats are decent, it is just not worth it at all. Just focus on your Harpist hunts for the gear itself, because this is not going to do anything for you in the long run and will be easily replaced. Make sure you get your advanced decoder chips for your 5 stars. Some of you have not maxed out your Ginga yet. Make sure you get these. And of course, get your special hiring agreement, because you're going to want to still make sure you have enough pulls for the upcoming banners, like the Ryza collab that I mentioned, where she's basically one of the most important units that they will ever release in this game. Now, one huge issue with this banner that makes it completely non-free to play. This Ex3 stage is significantly harder than the Ashura collab. I think they've done this on purpose to kind of gate the free-to-play players to prevent their progression too quickly. And it kind of sucks, because what they did was, like, they dangled that Ex3 stage that's really easy, that you can do with a level 50 Grace in the Ashura event. But this stage 50 is absurd. It's the same level. Yeah, they're the same level of units. I believe they're level 50 as well in the Ashura event. But this ability to afflict infirmity and speed reduction, all of the debuffs make this extremely hard. And then they throw in a random green unit in there, and these green units are insanely good. Like, they can give themselves this warding shield buff, heal themselves, taunt, inflict stun. And what this does is cripple your blue units, even with my units, right? Let's take a look at my units. My Rory, stacked. My Grace, also stacked, right? Let's take a look at the gear. And of course, the free attack set with my own slot 5 and slot 6. And I have the crit damage set on here. And you would think, like, I have no problem farming and, like, upgrading fodder and whatnot, but this stage 3 is just not free to play friendly at all. Like, it makes farming so inefficient for most players, because you can't farm and level up fodder at the same time, which really sucks. So let's take a look at my run. Already, look how much damage my Ginga has taken, stunned already as well, right? And I'm trying to simulate something that you guys would be kind of doing as well, right? Like, most of you guys have Grace. I'm using Grace and Rory, and my Grace is almost 50% health. And I'm using the support unit. Yeah, just this first wave alone creates so much chaos. Like, it's all RNG. You're going to have a really low success chance, like, to complete this stage with a two-man team. You need extremely good gears. I would say one fire, one water, but look how much damage my units take. And I know that my units are significantly better than most because I farm significantly more than most. Yeah, this is actually the fact that my team, like, that either of them is about to die already, and these are two very stacked units, right? I could only imagine what you guys runs are looking like as free to plays, as you know, people that just don't spend at all in this game. Like, this is absurd. I got really lucky this run, if I'm gonna be honest. I got really lucky this run. But look how low my units are. Most of you guys don't even have a 5-star grace. If you don't have a 6-star grace, I mean, you'll probably just die even with the same gear. So it's one of those things where it's like the gearing requirements to even do the EX3 stage here is so high, making it almost impossible for you guys to farm at a good rate to get your event currency. So if it is too hard for you, I would say, like, this is a event that you can skip, but to a degree, right? Because I think even, yes, it may be inefficient to do EX2, which is right here. You do need the event currency to make sure you get your upgrade materials at the very least, and of course get your where is it? Get your forging kit crystals, and of course get your advanced decoder and special hiring agreement. But the EX3 stage, not free to play friendly, not free to play friendly at all event, but the event shop is just too good. There's so much progression in that event shop that everyone else will be getting, and if you don't get it as a free to play player, as a small dolphin, you're kind of handicapping yourself. So all in all, if I was to rate the Nina, the Nina banner, the magical girl Erika banner, out of 10, I would say that this is a solid 6 banner. It looks great visually, right? Like 10 out of 10 looks great. Got this nice little quirky thing to it, but when it comes to the quality of life for players, it is absolutely horrible. And I didn't even get into actually farming the bosses yet. I've heard that they're quite difficult, so I'm going to see how I do with them. Maybe create a guide if it is really that difficult, and show you guys my gearing requirements that I found. So that's all I have for you guys for this video today. I hope that my insight on this banner was useful and the units was useful. And that's all I have for you guys today. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.